have a great opportunity to talk to you about the experience that I've been able to go through in one of my key responsibility areas here at the Ken Blanchard Companies over the past year. I've had the great opportunity to partner with a local charter school in Escondido, California, the Classical Academies. And we've created a partnership between the Blanchard Foundation and the Classical Academies to train our student self-leadership program. And so I've had the great opportunity in working, collaborating with my manager, Peter Gray, to be able to, once a week, go to the Classical Academy in Escondido and work with a group of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to help them go through the Student Self-Leadership Workbook and the entire Blanchard Leadership Program. I'd say that there's a couple key learnings that I want to talk about. The first and biggest need that they had whenever I got there was that they needed a resource for trainers and teachers who had gone through our Train the Trainer or Train the Teacher program to learn the student self-leadership content. What happened was they came to a workshop, Jen Zing trained them, as you would for any Train the Trainer program, but for the student self-leadership program, Jen Zing trained them. And they had several teachers that were able to then be certified to go into the classroom and be able to teach the content at the Classical Academies. Now, their biggest need at the time was that they felt pretty insecure about going through this 1 or 2 day Train the Trainer program and then turning around and coming back and having the daunting task to implement the 9 modules within the student leadership program over the course of the year. So based on some of my experience here at the Ken Blanchard Companies in designing training videos, we came up with the idea of creating a online teacher's resource with videos that highlighted each of the core concepts for the 9 modules of the program. And then within those modules, what we did was have videos on the learning activities that would take place in those learning modules. As I've been co-facilitating this program with Mrs. Kenna Molina of the Classical Academies, we've been able to coordinate and talk to each other, watch videos before class, the week of class, when we're going to do a learning assignment or a learning activity in class, or we're deciding on what the key learning point of the week is. We'll both watch the video, see how it's done in the classroom, get specific instruction from the master Jedi trainer Jen Zing, and then be able to execute that effectively in class.
It's been extremely helpful. It's been several years since I've taken the training for Blanchard, and to be able to sit down before I teach the lesson and watch Jen Zing, who's an expert, do it, just refreshes my memory and always walk away with a couple extra tips on what to do.
And then each week they have a learning assignment that they do before class, and they watch either a video that I've created for them that they can watch off of their wiki. We post the video on the wiki describing the learning assignment and then being able to see how to do the learning assignment.
My favorite part of the class has been actually the learning assignments. Even though most kids really hate homework, I actually really like the learning assignments because I like building on what I've learned in class. I really like the learning assignments because I can go on the wiki and look at them and look at the videos and then do my learning assignments.
So they do their learning assignment, they come to class. That enables us to use the entire class time to execute one of the learning activities that we as a teacher have reviewed on our teacher's resource site. It gives us the ability to not have to do the homework in class, but we are able to debrief that learning assignment, come into class, understand what we're going to be learning today, review a little bit of what we've learned before, and then actually get into exciting learning assignments, whether it's the scarf activity, the koosh ball activity, yarn activity, these host of activities that we've gotten from Jen Zing on the teacher's resource site. We're able to execute in class, make it an exciting, productive, active learning process that reinforces all of the major concepts of the Blanchard program. Miss Janine Swearingen is a 6th grade teacher at the Classical Academies. And they have, every 6 weeks, they have parent-teacher meetings. And so the teacher get together with the student, review their report card, review their learning progress, and they have conversations around it. Now, what's unique about Miss Swearingen's approach to those meetings is she has those meetings run by the students. They're set up and they're led by the students. She gives them a little bit of direction and shows them how to set up the meeting. But when the student comes to the meeting, they've done their homework, they've reviewed Miss Swearingen's feedback, and they've reviewed her process on how to set up the meeting, and they come in and they run the meeting.
Teaching middle school, I've just found that it's really important for the students to learn to take ownership of what they're doing, whether it's their academics or their extracurriculars, and really take ownership of that and communicate that to the teachers and to their parents, and to identify their areas of strength and then their areas of weakness, areas that they need to continue to improve and grow. Notice a difference between the kids who have had the self-leadership class. I feel like they've had the experience and exposure to the different developmental stages and going through each of those 4 developmental stages and really identifying where they are and that kind of thing. And they're really, their confidence is typically a little higher. They're typically more comfortable in communicating with adults and leading in that discussion.
You could use the development levels in a conversation with your teacher by kind of diagnosing your own skill level with all your subjects, and then saying, I'm kind of good at math and I'm not so great at history, but I'm really good at science. And then you could tell her the areas that you specifically need to work on.
I think the most helpful part was when we learned about the development levels. In math, if I need help on something, I can redo it and go over the levels again in that lesson, and I'll go over it until I get to the D4s.
I find that the kids those kids that are able to identify kind of where they are along this, the way in terms of learning a new skill or concept, they're able to say, I'm stuck, I need help, this is where I'm stuck, as opposed to just saying, I don't get it, I don't understand, I don't know how to do this. A lot of times kids will be able to come to me and say, I can, they'll work out maybe a math problem, for example, and work out part of the problem, and they know right where they're stuck, or they know that they can't even start the problem. They know, I don't even understand what they're asking me here, so they're able to actually articulate what it is that they need help with, as opposed to just saying, I need help.
The Classical Academy requires any student that wants to run for student body, student government. It's a requirement that in 6th grade you need to go through the Blanchard Student Self-Leadership Program in order for you to be able to run for student government in 7th or 8th grade. I think this is amazing because really what it does is it's putting a stake in the sand and saying, hey, you can't just show up and run for office as a student leader without some real fundamental basic skills, which is what the Blanchard Student Self-Leadership Program provides.
Well, I pretty much learned everything I know in the basic structure and foundation that I grow on to help my school, my campus, my fellow classmates. You learn what you're supposed to do in life. You're learning how to become a leader. And once you learn the basic, you can grow. I'm going to run for president next year in Leadership 3.
Ability to perform the task well without supervision? High. Okay, how many of you got it pretty right on? Give yourself a pat on the back.
And a star on the paper.
And a star on your paper, I love it.
I think that what we've done is really created a foundation of how the leadership program can be implemented based on our experience with the classical academies.